give it up to our favorite warrior and a brilliant actress and playwright, Danai Gurira. You have to forgive us, Danai. You've been in traffic, but we've been watching you save the world.
Yes!
And get licked by a rhino. And fight with your amazing warrior women. I guess my first question is, you get the call to be in this movie. What did you know about sort of the world of the Black Panther, Wakanda, before you started? And when did you realize it was gonna be this like life-changing, world culture-changing thing?
Yeah, I mean, I knew nothing about it, absolutely nothing. I was actually in the theater, it was actually the opening night of Eclipse, my play, and and as I was leaving, my manager said, "Do you have an offer from Marvel?" I was like, "What?" And I was like, this is weird. And he said Black Panther, and I'm thinking the Black Panthers, you know. I had no idea. So it took some catching up, and Ryan Coogler, of course, I was really a massive fan of. I thought he was a very special filmmaker. So I was very interested, but I just had no idea. And then sitting down with him, finally, some weeks later, I was in LA, and we sat down together, and he talked me through his vision and through this character Okoye, and I just really had never heard of anything like it. I was like, this is special, you know, and you just get that feeling in your gut where you're like, I have to be a part of this, and figure out how to be, because I was on a TV show at the time, so we were trying to figure out how to make that
TV show.
and thankfully, that did work out. So.
Actually, I'm really glad you brought up Eclipse. This is an amazing play. If you haven't seen it already, there are copies at the Drama Bookshop for you. Because you worked with Lupita before.
Yes.
And I wanted
and
to...
Letitia.
Yeah.
Letitia had done Eclipse in London.
Oh, I didn't know that. So what was that like? These are people you've worked with as a writer, and now you're on set, and you get to... Where did you guys film? Atlanta?
Yes.
Yeah, you get there, and how does that relationship sort of help you as you create Wakanda?
Oh, it was glorious, because we were like sisters. We were already sisters, we already loved each other, we already had each other's backs. So it was, the ease was incredible. And you know, we were good friends with a few other people. We were already good friends with Chadwick as well, I was. And I hadn't known Angela much, but I knew her son, of course, was a massive fan of her iconic queenness. And so it was just a lot of a love. And like Daniel was just immediate connection. Winston, it was immediate connection. So it was, and of course Michael B. So there was just a lot of love very, very easily.
I'm curious about the prep during that time, because you're creating a world that has only existed in comic book pages, but it's obviously drawn from real life African culture, real life Afrofuturism, and so many different concepts. Like, what was your training process with Dora Milaje and those warriors?
Yeah, it was intense. It was really, really intense, and it was all of us. We were in like a massive warehouse, and we were all being drilled in very similar ways, and you know, just worked. And then we would break into.
But what does drilled mean? Again, it's a fictional country. Like, what are the drills? Like, how do they build?
Well, when I say all of us, I mean everybody. I mean with Letitia, with Lupita, with Chadwick, with everybody. We were all kind of there was certain sort of agilities we were learning that were kind of across the board, just in terms of like, how do you tumble turn as you walk? Like you run and you do a somersault, you keep running, you know, that sort of a thing. Or like just learning how to like be a lot of stamina in movement and like high knees, low knees, running around and falling over, getting back, just stuff like that. Lots of stuff. Lots of cardiovascular effort going on. And then we'd break into things that were very specific to our characters. And of course the Dora specifically would work with the spear. And there was these very, very astounding trainers who were giving us the style that the Dora needed to work in, which involved a degree of, for Ryan, it came from actually this beautiful dance movement of, and I'm blanking on the nation, an Eastern Asian country, that this beautiful dance sort of movement that he said, there's something about this. And so the trainers kind of guided us through something that involved the grace of like women in movement while kicking your ass. So it was that combo that we were learning a lot of, which was very specific. And then the other actors had their trainers who were working with them in their specific style.
I want to ask you about this because I have a little experience with it, which is you make this movie, you film this, some of that stuff is in front of you, some of it is not, and then they say that's a wrap on Danai, and then you wait, what, a year?
Yeah, it was, I finished in April, and then we did some reshoots, I think, in like October, and then I saw it for the first time in January.
And what was that like?
It was utterly frightening. It was like, you know, just terrifying. I was sitting in front of Michael B, and I was just grabbing his knee the whole time, and like grabbing his hand, squeezing his hand so damn tight, you know, because you just don't know what you're about to see, and you're watching it with like hundreds of other people for the first time, which is going to happen again. Just mentally preparing for that right now. It's going to happen in a few weeks.
Consider us your sneak preview crowd for your Wakanda Forever, because we're all going to be back in 2 months. But truly, this movie went so far beyond just Marvel fans. It became your duty as a world citizen to see Black Panther and support this movie, and it's amazing. It's like playing an old album to rewatch it today. There were so many things I had forgotten, had just entered our bloodstream as a culture that I'd forgotten from this movie. When he said, "Hey, Auntie," you know, countless moments like that. What has that experience sort of been like for you?
It's been extraordinary. I kind of sometimes forget I was in it, you know what I mean? Because I get what people are vibing on out from like an outside perspective. It's been astounding, actually. We could never have anticipated the response. We just, could you have anticipated Hamilton's response? You just can't, right? You just can't. And when you're in it, you just, you know, I did feel many times that we were making something special. And there were times I'd go on set and I'd look at the room, like I'd look at the throne room, and I'd look at certain rooms and I'd be like, nah, this has never been done before. Yeah. You know, I'd look at the Dora Milaje, and you know, I would look at so many things. I'd look at Shuri in that lab, I'd be like, nah, this has never been done before. And I'd get so excited, just for me, just as a girl who grew up, a Black girl who grew up in Africa, just going, wow. And watching a lot of American media, and which was the media, you know. And I was like, nah, I've never seen this before. And I'm so excited that little girls and boys and people get to see this now. But I just felt that thing in my gut that said, I've never seen this before. So I was excited, but you just never know how it lands. You just can't know until it's out there.
It's been a glorious 2 hours and a few minutes, and a part of that is because every time this movie plays, Chadwick Boseman is live. And he's so alive in this film. You know, Chadwick was like us too. He also worked in theater. You know, he was in those workshops for Holler If You Hear Me. I remember seeing those with my friend Chris. You know, are there any memories in particular that stand out? And I know you're going to be asked this a million times over the next 2 months. That sort of comes back when you think back on the making of that original film.
So many things. I mean, he was, you know, he was just the most gracious, astounding leader, man, friend, brother. and just had the calmest energy and just zen energy you could imagine. And then he would just burst into something really goofy and fun out of absolutely nowhere. So it was just always, his presence was grounding. And also it always he was never, and Ryan says this, he always was certain it was going to work and it was going to work big. Because when we were in the midst of it, we didn't know. We felt something, but we didn't know. But he always knew. And Ryan was like, I don't know how he knew, I don't know how he believed in me so much, but he just always knew. And I just remember tons of times, like when we'd be trying to suggest something to Ryan, and we'd go to him, and he would always just have your back and just immediately just get your character's perspective and want your character to be as well achieved as possible. It was the generosity that he had that was, you yearn for that in a leading man. You need that in a leader, and he had that in spades. But a specific, there's so many specific like funny moments we'd have. I'm battling between two to tell, but it was just him and Daniel would just crack me up. And there was just a time he was Daniel was my husband in the movie, and he was like getting at him about how, Okoye is a good woman, she's always with me, and he was just like, and Daniel was so in character, he was getting really, really vexed. It was just really funny.
Let's talk about that relationship a little bit, because I don't think there's a married couple alive who doesn't relate to having a disagreement on certain issues. Thousands of lives and deaths hang in the balance on your marital disagreements, and you guys are on opposite sides of this, intra-feud happening on Wakanda. How did you and Daniel Kaluuya, who's an amazing, great actors, how did you guys sort of set the tone for that?
The beauty was Ryan created an amazing environment for us from the jump, because he sort of said, okay, when we came in about 6 weeks of prep, and we were basically like going over our scenes together, our characters together, discussing things. Ryan was taking things in. Ryan likes to like kind of vibe off of you and then like really fine tune the script accordingly and vibe off of your thoughts, things coming out of you. And so we were doing, me and Daniel did a lot of that. We talked a lot, and we're both writers, so we had very clear thoughts. And Ryan is, me and Daniel, sorry. So Daniel is an amazing, he's an amazing thinker, and he's an astounding storyteller. So he would get real specific about things, and we could really go at each other. I haven't seen the deleted scene, they put it out afterwards. I haven't seen it, because there's a version where I like shove him, and I don't think that made it to the screen. But that was fun. And I don't think it made it. But like we just would really get into things, and there was just such trust in our interaction. And because Brian created that environment where we were just working together and talking through all these things beforehand, that final moment where he's like, would you, what does he say? He's trying to stop me from.
Would you kill me, my love?
Yeah, that line. We tuned that in a very specific way, and we got to work on that together with Ryan and Nate, and really get it to those particular lines. And it was just, I just remember him saying, no, this is it. We don't need another word. It's right here. And so and I was like, yeah, there was just an intrinsic trust in his instincts. His instincts are astounding.
I'm so glad you brought up your writing. You're an acclaimed playwright on top of being an amazing actress. And I think you're like me in that I started writing because I really wanted to be an actor, and I didn't see the roles that existed for myself. I didn't see the kind of stuff I could have a life in. I'm curious which came first for you, the writing or acting, and you've just given us an amazing example of how much our writing serves us as actors.
It was actually, I was born in the Midwest. I was born in Iowa, but I was raised in Zimbabwe. So we moved back when I was 5, And so my first experiences really with creating anything were there. And it was a little theater group I was a part of as a teen, like I don't know, like I was like a tween, and it was called Chipao, Children's Performing Arts Workshop. And there we were just allowed to create and find things and tell topical stories and bring them to their feed and dance and sing through them and all sorts of things. I didn't make it to musical theater because I can't sing. And I can't really dance much either, I know, it's crazy.
I watched that movie, I don't believe there's anything you can't do. I'm sorry. We'll find it yet.
But that'd be so funny if you like try to draw that out of me. It was like a failed
challenge accepted, Danai. Andrew Garfield said the same thing.
But yeah, so we did all that, and then I just kind of grew up, even though when I was in high school it was far more kind of Western in this perspective, but I realized that's kind of a more African, non-Western perspective, is that you just create, you sing, you dance, whether or not you can, you act, you write, you perform, it was just all one thing. So I feel my first experiences with storytelling were kind of this sort of integrated approach. And then, coming to the United States, so when I came back for college and stuff, you sort of see, okay, there's compartments and you have to sort of pick which one you are. But I was still so connected to that concept, and I wasn't seeing the stories. I wasn't seeing any stories really from the African female perspective, and I couldn't understand that, considering the very, very complex, fascinating women I'd grown up around and all those things that are going on the continent from Cape to Cairo. I was like, you get a little rageful, right? There's those moments of like, why is it like this? And then you kind of realize, okay, I guess I have to try to do something. And it sort of comes from
You
there.
look around for who's gonna write your dream show,
Exactly.
and you realize, oh, it's up to you.
Exactly.
It's scary because it comes with a lot of responsibility.
Yes.
And you've risen to that beautifully. I have a side question before we leave Marvel entirely, which is, you also played this character in other movies. Like we see you back up Captain America, spoilers, I guess. But I don't know a human who hasn't seen it. What was that like? I mean, did you bring kind of what you had all created together to those other sets when you're working with different directors and?
Definitely. We were like, oh, you all are in Wakanda now. Okay, okay, you are Chris Evans, and that is cute. But you're in Wakanda now. Hey, Scarlett, you're in Wakanda now. No, I'm kidding. But they were astounding. It was really cool. Everybody, I had a bit of a starstruck moment. Look, like all of them in the space we'd been shooting in. Just a couple months after we'd finished. So no, definitely. And that was the Avengers movies, which were with the Russo brothers, and they were very, of course, wanted that continuation of what we had. We had built so much in terms of the songs, all of it, there was too much in the sort of arsenal of what it meant to be a Wakandan. So it was like, and the funny part is, you're coming here for us to help you save the world, which was, I loved the message of that they all had to come to this African nation to save the universe. But it was, so of course, why would we change a thing? So we definitely, they were very excited to step into the sort of thing.
I know when I saw the first Infinity War, when the Chiron of Wakanda went across the screen, it was the loudest cheers of the movie. That's a testament to the work you guys did on this film. I know I'm not going to get any spoilers on Wakanda Forever. It's you or Lupita in the suit. I'm just kidding. But I guess my question is, and just think of this as training for the next 2 months of press. What would surprise us most about the next installment?
Say something?
Yeah, we all cried when it went from No Woman, No Cry to Kendrick. And when I wake up, tell you, how many people have seen the trailer for Wakanda Forever more than once? How many people use it as a coffee substitute? A coffee substitute when I need to like get up. I'm like, okay,
Wow.
2 more months.
Wow. No pressure.
What would, yeah. But anything that would sort of surprise us that, you know. I know the expectations are through the roof, and I know it took a long time because of the pandemic.
I'm scared to say nothing, okay?
And we don't
I'm
want
like
spoilers.
scared.
We don't want spoilers. Don't you dare give us any spoilers.
But no, I mean, I think, you know, I think it is epic, and it was, you know, we went. It was a lot bringing it to the fore, a lot, and I know Ryan is still right now this moment. I saw him this past week doing some ADR with him, and he's still working at it. He's still trying to bring you all of the epic efforts that were put together for it, and I think he's just astounding. But we all came in there deeply desirous above all things to honor our brother, and leave it all out there, and that I can promise you you'll receive.
Well, listen, thank you guys for staying late. Thank you guys for coming all the way uptown. Thank you, Washington Heights, for supporting this.
All right, folks, thank you for spending